How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. Today is June 17th, 2019. We'll be discussing VeChain today and looking at a lot of the various different really defining moments that have been happening in the cryptocurrency world. This is going to be a very interesting video, so make sure that you watch all the way to the end. And if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. And as always, I'm interested in hearing all the feedback that you guys have to offer, so make sure that you put a comment down below letting us know what you think is going to happen in the cryptocurrency space, or any insights that you might have to offer, suggestions for future videos. And with all that being said, I think that VeChain is really one of the most undervalued cryptos in the space right now. And I mean, especially with there's so many undervalued cryptos. I could pretty much say that. I could pretty much make a list of my most undervalued that I see as really beneficial, and a lot of them are in my portfolio currently. But VeChain really, as far as cryptos valued under a penny goes, it's really one of the most interesting cryptos out there when we want to talk about where the actual blockchain is going to overlap with a lot of different elements of society that we currently see happening, and a lot of the different markers that we have. And if you get a chance, definitely make sure that you guys read the white paper for VeChain. I always try to put out there encouragement for people to do as much research into these things as possible before making any real decisions, because cryptocurrency certainly is one of those spaces where it's a risk-reward dynamic. There's great reward because there's great risk. And at the same time, I think that when we want to talk about the next threshold for the cryptocurrency paradigm shift, really look no further than the supply chain and all these different things. And I think, just looking through the VeChain white paper really does give us an idea of how blockchain is going to evolve the world. The VeChain team, the VeChain blockchain and platform has been running for more than 2.5 years. During the journey, they've met many people who share goals, business partners, both entrepreneurs, yada yada. What I really want to talk about, you're going to want to go down to the table of contents and pretty much just go into one of the things that I think is important is the 51% attack, and essentially how VeChain stands to really combat that, which, because we see how that's been an issue for a lot of elements of the crypto space up until this point. And when you get your brain wrapped around the significance of blockchain technology, and we go and think about how much money is actually being lost, in the world of designer sneakers, for example, the past video I made about VeChain goes into detail about the world of designer sneakers. And because people are going to drop $890 on a pair of Gucci's, and they're not going to want to be walking around next to people who bought them for $8 and is passing them off as real. And the way that VeChain basically stands to combat this is, I think, one of the really revolutionary markers of what the cryptocurrency and that really the overlay of the internet into the broader elements of how we're going to be seeing these different collaborations that coming into the limelight. And you think about how much money is lost with counterfeit designer wear, and it's not only limited to that. They have to keep track of all these different things. You think about the fact that for example, my friend actually works in the world of soft drinks and sodas and so forth, and when they're shipping a truckload of Monster Energy drinks, for example, they'll actually more often than not end up with some merchandise on the truck that wasn't even supposed to be there after all. It actually had no purpose, just based on simple errors in people trying to account for the items that are actually being shipped. And if you don't see that as a major dollars and cents being lost, you just have to look at the figures. It's billions of dollars every single year. And the fact of the matter is that these companies are really desperate to try and cut corners wherever they can. And the fact of the matter is VeChain is on the horizon, posing, and not only VeChain, but cryptos that have gone as far as VeChain. And I think, the fact that they've come this far and solidified themselves right here, right now, in the next 10 years, this is going to be all the rage. This is going to be the type of stuff that's going to be looked at. And I'm understanding how this is actually being taken seriously more and more by various different elements of society that really just need to get in the motion of the cryptocurrency mass adoption. And I mean, especially right now, we're witnessing a redefining of what cryptocurrency means. I mean, I know Facebook is sort of a crap example. Nobody is really excited about the cryptocurrency, the Facebook's global coin. Nobody who's really serious about crypto is excited about it, other than the fact that crypto and Facebook are sort of a internet fad that could really possibly introduce the cryptocurrency normalization to a lot of people, which is going to be a big deal. I mean, June 18th, right around the corner, Libra will introduce that sort of conversation, help crypto being taken more seriously. And it does prove that a lot of these different entities are seeking to take advantage of these technologies. And I mean, I do think that it's interesting to see just these major companies, and don't think that there's any company out there that's able to ignore the benefits of blockchain. I don't think that it's a joke anymore. I think the cryptocurrency has sort of come a long way in the past year, and in that same token, we'll certainly be seeing more stuff like VeChain really taking the heat, and a lot of that heat will be pretty useful. Just as far as the money that stands to be saved. I mean, the companies hate it when there's money on the table, and I think that VeChain certainly an interesting crypto. So, I mean, the way that we see the space evolving over the next couple of months is certainly going to determine a lot of the different aspects of the trajectory of the space overall. And I know that a lot of you have been watching closely as the Bitcoin price continues to inch further over that $9,000 mark, which I know is pretty exciting for a lot of people to look at. And of course, just the way that we've seen the various different aspects of digital currencies revolutionizing the way that people look at finance, it makes a lot of sense to imagine how it's going to be really rolling over and influencing various different elements of all sorts of different finite things that we deal with and people have come to take for granted. And I think that VeChain is really an interesting one for that same reason. So, I mean, it's very easy to overlook. I think at this point, people are still at that stage where they're unable to really wrap their mind. I mean, a lot of the normies, at least, I'm talking to my audience here, so I'm sure that a lot of you are pretty woke to the fact of the matter of, blockchain being the future and stuff. And I don't need to regurgitate many of those different points for you, the audience. But at the same time, I know that there's plenty of people out there who are new to the space who, just need that sort of wake up call. So it is interesting just to see how, cryptos like VeChain have been really making a lot of those different steps forward. And as far as the normalization and all these different aspects go, it's certainly very interesting to see just how blockchain is going to be really an interesting thing, as far as just keeping track of everyday things. And as we really move forward into the next paradigm of the internet, it's going to be very interesting. And I think that there's a large probability that we'll see VeChain bull run. And I could easily see VeChain being valued at $1, just as things continue to move forward. I mean, when we're talking about a 5-year span of the evolution of crypto, I mean, certainly we can never really predict exactly what's going to happen in the space as far as how the international variables are really going to take to the crypto, as far as how it's managed to come along up until this point. But it is interesting to look at how Bitcoin has been faring up and how their reputation has been making a lot of different splashes in the space. And I'm very excited just to see how a lot of these different things are going to continue to move forward. And in a big way, it is really one of the most interesting things of our time, and we're very lucky to be here at this time, with so early in the game, and it's such an opportunity to fill a portfolio that's really going to be life-changing, wife-changing. And remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad. This video is not financial advice. I recommend that you guys go and do your research for yourself, because I think these things do speak volumes in make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel, like I said, and it's going to be an interesting ride to see how these things continue to move forward, and even just seeing how something as simple as smart contracts, I mean, now it's sort of a household conversation or household name, built upon the digital currency. But I mean, it's just the start. I mean, we're going to see all these different aspects of the world. I mean, especially with 5G now and all these different things. Very exciting time, for cryptocurrency, and the sky's the limit with a lot of these different opportunities that are right in front of us. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. I think the world of designer sneakers and so forth is really going to be taking an interest to this, as they already have, especially with a lot of the different issues that are already facing the public who are fans of these sort of things. And I mean, it's definitely interesting to see, multifunctioning, atomic transactions, allow developers to batch payments, add multiple cells to different contracts, functions into one transaction and determine their sequence, and multi-party payment. And these are all things that are very important in the future of how things are. I think no matter where you are in the world, people have people who are interested in business in particular, I think, are standing to see how a lot of this stuff is going to change the world. And I'm glad to be a part of it, and I'm happy that I've been able to make this video and the content on this channel. I think we've had a great community. I mean, I made so many friends just running this channel, and I'm happy to have each and every one of you here. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, found it informative, found it educational. See you guys next video. Have a good one.